I was an actor, and I was hired by the drama department at this school to come in and do a Shakespeare workshop over half term with some kids, and I really enjoyed it. And I was teaching for theatre schools as well at the time, and I just thought, well, actually, if I want to be, have a family and have a house and have a life and not be on tour all the time, I think this teaching lark could be good fun. So I mentioned it to the head of drama here, and he said, well, look, come in and work with us. So I did. I worked unqualified for a year, and then I did my GTP. So the school actually sponsored me through my GTP and paid me full time while I was training, and then gave me a job afterwards. So they made it very, very easy for me.
I got into teaching really because I'd always kind of thought I wanted to be a teacher from about the age of 9 or 10. But there were other things I wanted to do. When I went to university to study history, I took a couple of education modules and realised that I actually really enjoyed kind of learning about kind of schools internationally and kind of schools in this country as well. So I decided that teaching would probably be something I'd quite like to do. Once I'd finished my degree, I spent a year at an all-girls school in Bath being a teaching assistant, and that was when I really knew that that was what I wanted to do. And then I applied to do a PGC at Bath University, and I got in for the following September.
Having finished my anatomy degree in Cardiff, I decided that I'd like to do something with my scientific knowledge. My sister went into teaching, I've got loads of family members into teaching, and I decided I may as well give it a go. It turned out I really enjoyed it. I took the PGCE, I actually did mine through Welsh Medium Science, so biology, in Aberystwyth.
I got into teaching because I left university and I didn't really know what to do next. So I had a place at a PGC for Southampton and I wasn't sure if that's what I wanted. So I actually got in contact with my old biology teacher and spent a year in a school as an LSA, and I loved it, and that was it, and I knew that that was the job for me after that. Went into the PGCE through Southampton, so I was based in 2 schools, one in Basingstoke and then here, and met my wonderful mentor, who's still my mentor now, and that was the start of my career at Harrow Way.
I started off as an LSA at a college and enjoyed it so much that I thought I might be a teacher, and went and had a look and spoke to some teachers, and my mother's a teacher, so it was fairly logical actually. I went down the PGCE route, so I already had my degree in English and Film Studies, and then I spent a year being an LSA, and then I did a year as a PGCE.
So when I left university, I thought I was going to go and do a PGCE, but then ended up in industry, and I got the layer of too much money, so I did that for 4 years, and then I had a career break to have my children, and all along I thought I still wanted to be a teacher. So then I went back to when my youngest went to school, I got a job here supporting a little boy on transition 1-to-1, and originally it was only 15 hours. So and then I got offered a position as a TA, and eventually I started doing some unqualified teaching, and then the opportunity came to be on the skit here and do my teacher training on the job. Harrow Way is part of the Thorndon Alliance, and so our main training was held at Thorndon, but we used to rotate through all the schools on a Friday, and we had a really extensive programme of events for the whole year. Thorndon, the Alliance, is attached to Chichester University, so through them I was accredited my PGCE, and Harrow Way was my home school and I did my placement here, but I had to do a secondary placement as well at another school, and that was the whole year.
I finished my degree in ancient history and social anthropology, so obviously didn't know what to do with that. So decided that I was going to work in London for a while, and then didn't really like it. It was like Groundhog Day, every day was the same. So I came back to Andover and I was an LSA for a year, and then I did a PGCE in history.
I got into teaching because people kept telling me that I should get into teaching. I think because I like the sound of my own voice, and I kept explaining things to people, and they would say things like, "Oh, you should be a teacher." So I thought, oh, okay, I'll give it a go, and 18 years later, I'm still here.
When I first came to Harrow Way, I was a cover supervisor, and did that for about 4 or 5 years, and then started doing the education welfare role about 5 or 6 years ago, something like that now. And they've supported me all the way through actually, Harrow Way, because I've been on loads of training courses and applied those to my job, and it's sort of got bigger and better.
Harrow Way's supported me in my career progression really well actually. Obviously they took me through my teacher training, and then I remember when when Mike first joined, we had a meeting, and I said to him, a bit bold, seeing as I think I was only an NQT, I said, look, you're going to need a head of drama, and you're going to need a head of performing arts, because the old one's retiring. And he said, no, it'll be fine. And so after about a year, he agreed with me that we needed a head of drama, and he made me head of drama. And then about 2 or 3 years later, he agreed we needed a head of performing arts and made me head of performing arts. And in the meantime, I was offered all sorts of things. So I was offered the opportunity to be head of house, and I've gone for other things. There's always loads of different TLRs on offer for teacher training and all that sort of stuff. So ultimately, it's been on offer, and if you want to go for it, you go for it. And I've gone for it, and sometimes I've got it.
I came to Harrow Way as an NQT 6 years ago now, and I've stayed here ever since. It's been a great school for me because I have been able to progress quite quickly in my career. So after 2.5 years of being a normal history teacher, I became head of history. Soon after that, I became head of house, and then in April of this year, I became head of humanities.
Harrow Way has probably been the springboard for my career progression. So I started off in 3 other schools, each of them giving me the chance to learn some new skills, but Harrow Way has actually helped me progress. Having started off as a science teacher, I'm now the head of Hawk House, so head of house here. I've done the Andover Middle Leaders course, and hopefully I'm hoping that a head of year spot might come up at some point soon.
I joined Harrow Way as an NQT, and this is my 5th year of teaching here, and I progressed from that to a classroom teacher, and I'm now a middle leader. I'm the head of year with responsibility for year 8. And Harrow Way is a school like that. The leadership team here are very keen to give people chances. I was able to become a middle leader in my 2nd year of teaching towards the end of it, and it's very much a question of ability. If you're able to do a job, you're given the chance to do that job, and also supported in doing it. So my development has been very, very rapid compared to some people in other schools and friends of mine that done my PTC with me. I feel as I'm in a very strong place career-wise because of the support that's been put in place around me.
So I started obviously as a PGC in my 2nd placement, and a job came up while I was here, and I got that job. I did an NQT year here and had my first tutor group, and then in my 2nd year I became head of year 8, which was a baptism of fire, very exciting. And I also completed my masters at the same time, part-time, sort of after school, through Southampton again, which I loved. Since then I've done the MPQML, just currently finishing the MPQSL, and I've become a chartered science teacher as well through the ASE.
Eventually I think I'd like to go down a pastoral route in a few years' time when I've had some more experience in the classroom, and because I've had lots of opportunities here at Harrow Way and have been able to develop through a TA to an HLTA, and then now as a teacher, I'm sure that I will be offered the support and the opportunities to develop my career further.
I've been at Harrow Way for 12 years, so I trained here. I actually went away for a term but then was drawn back. So I was head of history in my NQT year, and then I became head of year, and I was head of year 10 and then saw them through to year 11, and then I was lucky enough to become assistant head teacher. So after that I've been doing that for a while and getting involved in lots of different things. So in my role as assistant head teacher, obviously I look, teaching and learning is my thing, but also continuous professional development. I've worked really closely with the Learn Alliance at Thorndon and worked on programmes with them. I'm also an SLE, specialist leader in education, so I've done some deployment and worked with other schools in the area to try and improve their department and work on outcomes for students. So I've had loads of different things to do, and I think when people ask me why have you been at Harrow Way so long, it's because every year I've had something else that I've been looking at and other areas to work with.
Yeah, it's good to work at Harrow Way. Everybody has got, they're all quite passionate about their own little agenda and the different parts of the role, if you like. So we all come together as quite a cohesive team, which is nice, but everybody's quite passionate about every specific thing that they do.
It's awesome. Harrow Way's a great school. I love working at Harrow Way because everyone's so friendly. There's a real family feel. We are a community. Everyone kind of looks out for each other, both staff and students. It's a really happy place to be. The ethos is kind of shared by everybody here, and I think that comes across to visitors that come in just for 10 minutes, and also for people who have been here for kind of 20, 30 years.
Harrow Way is a community school. It's definitely a community. You have a chance to be whoever you are in a safe environment. It's very friendly.
I've been in a fair few different schools whilst training and obviously visiting other people, and Harrow Way's got very much a community feel. The staff all pulled together, there's a lot of friendliness amongst the staff, and that filters down to the students. So the main strength of this school is the positive relationships with staff and staff and students. That starts from the leadership down.
Harrow Way's great, and I think that there's a combination of things that make it great. So we've got great kids who keep you going and they get you through the tough times, and we've got great staff that do the same, and we've also got wonderful parents. I think that's a big part of the link as well, is that parents are supportive and they have good relationships with staff here at Harrow Way. They know that we give them the time that they need as well.
It's really nice, actually. It's a nice atmosphere. It's what drew me to the school in the first place. Everybody gets on with everybody. Everybody's, you know, there's a sort of a great sense of pitching in, and I'm not just talking about the staff, I'm also talking about the students. So it's a really pleasant working atmosphere where it's all about teamwork.
Oh, it's brilliant. I love it here. It's a really inclusive feeling, everyone willing to help everyone. And the thing that I love most about it is that the kids are at the centre of it all. Everybody wants to do their best for the children, and I think, in my opinion, everyone goes that extra mile to ensure that the pupils achieve and we get the most out of them for their education.
Well, I've been here ages, so I'm a bit biased, but I just think it's the greatest place. I think it's like a family, really. It's like a surrogate family. So everyone pulls together. We all work, you know, for the children and make sure that they get the best outcomes they can possibly get. But also, it's a really caring place, and it's fun to work here.
If I was an animal, I think I'd be a cat. I like lounging around quite a lot on my time off, but I can be quite assertive. I do a lot of running around as well, and I can pounce when I need to.
I would be a meerkat, definitely. Do I need a why? I would be a meerkat because, quite frankly, when I'm teaching, I'm always like, oh, what's going on? Can I have snakes? There's never any snakes.
If I were an animal, I would probably be a bird. Even though I'm quite scared of them myself, I always like the idea of being able to kind of fly up high and look at things from above and kind of see what's happening down below.
No, a panda.
Why would you be a panda?
Because they get a lot of stuff done. They're unique, rare. Who wouldn't want to be one?
I would probably be a grizzly bear because I'm pretty grizzly.
I think I'd be a fox, scavenging around for good ideas, and I'm kind of cunning, so I think I'm a fox.
Probably be something like a squirrel, because they're little and they can run around, but they can also kind of fly when they jump.
Oh, a bird, because I'd like to fly, and then I'd be able to see more of the world as well.
It would be something underwater, because I'd like to live underwater and see all the beautiful things. So weirdly, I'd probably be a jellyfish.
Be a golden eagle, because then I can fly away and be on my own a lot. But it's nice and peaceful up there, isn't it?